What's going on, folks? So today I'm going to be talking about the new upcoming album from the band Stranger Vision, and the name of the album is Wasteland. This bad boy comes out Friday, November 4th, but you all know it. Before I get into that nitty-gritty, let's check out the cover. So, boom, there it is. Take a look at that cover there. You know, it's a very interesting cover here. I like the colors, the blue, the different shades of blue and almost kind of like a green as you get down to the bottom right-hand corner. And there's a lot to look at. I almost, it's like you really kind of have to look in close because a lot of it's kind of like faded, almost if it's shrouded in mist or something. I feel like I would like it to be a little bit more clear to be able to see, but I think I know what they're going for because you see down there at the bottom, the dude looks like, what's his name, Moses, parting the Red Sea and all that jazz. And then there's like the ship over there, it looks like, a mountain, like a glacier kind of right in the front, maybe an iceberg, I'm not sure. And then off to the back right, it looks like there's like a city, with buildings. It's almost like there's different periods of time through civilization kind of being depicted here. Really interesting, and yet it's called Wasteland, so it's definitely thought-provoking. It definitely, it's intriguing, so I think that's pretty cool at the end of the day, even though, I wish some of it was a little more clear, but like I said, I think I know what they're going for. It kind of draws your eye down at the bottom, and then with the waves, I guess, of importing everything, it kind of directs your eyes up into the rest of the artwork. One thing that I'm not big on is the way they have their name up at the top, the Stranger Vision, because if you don't know the band's name, Stranger Vision, it kind of looks like strange. It just looks kind of odd because there's pieces of it that are missing of the letters. So especially, vision and stuff like that is more clear, but the stranger, like, especially in the beginning, you kind of have to, like, look. It kind of looks like Seranger. I'm just nitpicking here, I guess, but, yeah, I wish it was just complete. The letters were complete, but as far as the cover giving you a good idea of what to expect on the album, I think it does a good job there. I think it does a good job. It has a power metal kind of look, a melodic metal kind of look for the most part. So yeah, I'll give it that. If you never heard of the band before and you see the cover, and does it give you the right idea of what the album sounds like? Yeah, I think so. You're not gonna like buy it and get it home and think you're gonna be getting some death metal or some pop music or indie rock or something like that. So I think it does a good job there. So all in all, not bad. A pretty cool cover. I have a little nitpick with the name kind of up there at the top and whatnot, but all in all, not too shabby. But that's the cover. Let's talk about the album itself now. This bad boy's got 12 songs on there. Comes in at about an hour, so it's a hefty one. It's a hefty one. Every song for the most part is around 5 minutes or so, but you got some that are pushing 8 minutes, and then you got the intros like a 1 minute, stuff like that. I was really, really intrigued and waiting for this album because the singles were really, really solid. I really enjoyed the singles. And the good news is that if you enjoyed the singles and if you enjoyed the sound on the singles, you're going to enjoy the album because it's just more of that. There's no real surprises for the most part. It's just the singles did a good job of representing what the album has to offer, and like I said, it's nothing shocking, but it's just more of that, and that quality. So like I said, if you dug the singles, there's a lot you're gonna like here on this album. It's very interesting, the style of the band, because it's definitely a modern power metal, I would say. Modern melodic power metal, because it heavily like a melodic metal, but with power metal influences in there. Um, but it's really interesting because there's the modern feel, but then at times there's kind of this infusion of kind of like 2000s power metal kind of style, and then there's also neoclassical vibes in there from time to time as well. So there's just a lot of different influences within the power metal and melodic metal genres that kind of create the sound of this album. And that's really cool. The guitar work, I have to say, it's just phenomenal, phenomenal. And I have to say, I noticed that this really big YouTuber, reaction YouTuber, and other stuff. I think he plays guitar and music. Nick Nocturnal. I've been seeing on social media that there's this big like awards thing that he's doing, for the year 2022. And one thing I saw that various record labels were saying that certain guitarists from certain bands under their label were nominated for Guitarist of the Year and all this stuff. And I was thinking to myself, if this dude, if the guitarist here in Stranger Vision is not nominated for best guitarist, and that junk is rigged. I'm telling you straight out, that junk is rigged because this dude rocks. I mean, he rocks. The guitar work is just so good. The riffs, the melodies, the intricacies. There's so many different styles of guitar play throughout this album, and it's just all impeccable. It's just all impeccable. Like I said, you get some heavy riffs at times, you get some melodic riffs at times, you get some intricate melodies woven throughout, you get wicked solos. There's one song on here that's just like an instrumental, and he's just going nuts on the guitar. And you get solos like in the single that was released, Desolate Sea, where the guitar solo, he starts doing like a neoclassical guitar solo, within that solo. I mean, this dude is just really, really cool and really diverse. And like I said, that junk is great. It's like the Oscars, it's like you got like the handful of people just picking, some of the major. Anywho, I'm not going to get into all that stuff. I'm not trying to cause a turf wars or nothing. But all I'm saying is this dude is awesome. And, anyone who's doing a Best Metal Guitarist of the Year awards, make sure you include this dude in the nominations because he's awesome. So, yeah, the guitar work is just phenomenal. Really, really great. Again, if you've heard the singles, Wasteland or Desolate Sea, you already know that this guy's awesome, and so yeah, I mean that's what you can get from the guitar. I think I pretty much explained that. You get some also really cool. I'm not sure who does the orchestrations for some of the symphonic elements because there's symphonic elements woven throughout as well, and some gorgeous, gorgeous piano work. And then at times, like in the opening, the opening instrumental track at the gates, almost sounds like there's like a harpsichord, being played. And so there's really cool little extra, instruments and sounds throughout at times. So you get some strings and you get some bombast, at times, just with like the symphonic elements. But the sound on this album, it's like kind of no frills. Like there's never like just huge, just symphonies galore and all this stuff. It's all very controlled. It's all very even. Like I said, you don't get like these big epic scope type of deals. It's all I don't want to use the word reserved because it's powerful, but it's not this, like I said, just just full of all this flair and all this stuff. It's kind of no frills. Everything is tightly controlled, and so when you get these symphonic elements, it's very deliberately placed within, and it's never too like huge, and it just fits within this melodic power metal sound, this melodic, powerful power metal sound. But you definitely get some extra little flavors, and like I said, like a harpsichord, it seems like at times, and just stunning piano work. Shout out to whoever does like the keyboarding and the piano and all that stuff. That's also just phenomenal. The bass work is really, really great. There's certain times you can really hear him doing these cool, intricate bass notes and bass rhythms. And the drums also just really, really great. There's some awesome fills, just really nice, intricate drum work, in addition to just keeping the rhythm and the pace up. And the drums sound really, really good with the sound of the rest of the instruments, and it's mixed well. The production is really well. Everything sounds clean and clear, and you can hear all the instruments really, really distinct, even though sometimes, there's a lot going on, especially with the intricacies of the guitar and then the drums, and you throw in some of the symphonic elements, but everything just sounds really, really clear and distinct. So I always appreciate that. And the vocal work is really solid. He's got a interesting voice, a powerful voice. There's like there's like a real edge to his voice, almost like a gravel, not gravelly, but just I don't know, hard to explain. Almost like on the verge of like shouting, but not shouting. It just an interesting voice, especially for this genre. But it works. It works really well for the style of the music because, again, it's very powerful sound. It's heavy at times, but never like super heavy. It's just all very melodic. And, like I said, you get some heavy moments, but then it tends to go into like a sweeping melody. And the choruses are very infectious and catchy. And like I said, I mean, melodic is the word of the day here. If this was Sesame Street, you'd have Elmo or the Count. Well, I guess not Count the Count because he just does numbers, but whoever does like the word of the day, I think they're one of them puppets does the word of the day. But yeah, I mean, the word of the day here is just melodic because it's very, very melodic, and the songs have a lot of different. It's complex, but also straightforward. It's just a really, really interesting sound that they've created. Like I said, it's all contained really well and just driven, a very driven melodic power metal sound, and it just really, really. Infectious, like I said, from beginning to end, it all flows very, very well, and it's just a good sound. And like I said, the vocals, he's got a good, powerful voice that really kind of enhances the power of the melodies and just the driven nature of the songs. And then he can really, really kind of hit those big sweeping melodies in the chorus. His delivery is really good, but then there's also times where there's more of a tenderness to his voice. But everything is very impassioned here in the album, and like I said, track 1 is just really sick. It's just a brief 1-minute instrumental, but it's epic. Then it kicked right off with Wasteland, track 2, where you got Hansi Kirsch from Blind Guardian in there, and every time you hear his voice, it's just like just good stuff. And that's just a great way to kick off the album. That the song that I recommend is not to miss on the album is Anthem for Doomed Youth. So much going on here, so much excellent piano stuff, great guitar work, great melodies. It's kind of an epic. I believe it's the longest song on here. Yeah, it's the one that's pushing 8 minutes. But it's just quite the journey, and there's so many different elements to it. Really great. That is the song not to miss, in my opinion. Then it goes into Under Your Spell, which is kind of the ballad of the album, and showcases the vocalist, a different side, where more of a tenderness. I mean, not tenderness, but it just showcases his versatility. Neverending Waves, track 9 is tight. It's an instrumental track, and again, just showcases the guitarist ability, all of the musicians, to be honest with you. The drum work and the bass, everything is really, really fantastic on this song. But that guitar is just wicked, wicked. It's so sick. I really enjoyed that instrumental track. The Deep track 10 is another one of my favorites on the album, but it all closes out with track 12, Peace, the Mad Jester and the Fisher King. It's about 2.5 minutes long. This is a very interesting one. It's the softest of the songs, and it's almost like there's like lullaby. It's almost like there's various lullabies like woven throughout, vocally, and it's kind of a soft-spoken sort of song, and very interesting. But it's a good way to close it out. And it just reminded me another thing with Anthem for Doomed Youth is like you get great like choir, it sounds like the choirs, great backing vocals and stuff like that in there, almost like chant kind of stuff. Really, really sick. That is the song not to miss. But as far as songs, if you're like, oh, just give me one song to check out to give me a good impression of the album, you can't go wrong with either of the singles, Desolate Sea or Wasteland. They both give you a good idea of what to expect on the album. Like I said, there's not really many surprises. What you hear with the singles is kind of what you get on the album, more of that. But what they do it very well. So it's just a solid effort. It's nothing that really like blows my mind but it's solid. It's just a solid work here. There's a lot of great stuff to admire and to enjoy. And like I said, anyone who's a fan of melodic metal, modern melodic metal, modern power metal, if you like some neoclassical vibes, it's not like just, tons in here, but, it's scattered throughout. And there's just some great, songwriting here, with the use of some of the symphonic elements and just the guitar work and the structure of the various songs. And so, yeah, it's just a solid album in that style. And again, check out the singles. And if you like what you hear, there's a lot that you're going to like on the album. So that's really my thoughts on it. Do I love it? Not necessarily. I would say I love the album, but I do like it. And I do certainly respect and appreciate the work that went into it in the style and the skill. So yeah, like I said, I do recommend it, and especially I would say check out the singles, and if you like that, you'll like the album. Solid effort here from the fellows over at Stranger Vision. And I'm looking forward to folks to hear it. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the singles that have been released. Have you been listening to Stranger Vision, their past material? How much are you looking forward to the album coming out? And once the album comes out and you have a listen, come back here and let me know what you thought of it. Let's talk. And like I said, everyone's got to go and nominate this guitarist for anything that's going on out there, for awards for the year for best metal guitarist. Go nominate this fella. This dude rocks. But yeah, cool band. I really dig their style. Like I said, solid outing here. Definitely gonna keep following these guys for years to come. I hope they keep releasing material. And that's what I got to say about it. So, yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. Ranger, out.